Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the love of the challenge. I am your host, Robert Stewart Jr., and today my special guest is none other than Laterrian. What's happening this afternoon, sir?
What's good? What's good? What's good? It's
What's
still it's
good?
still it's still morning for me on the West Coast.
Yeah, he's
But
on the West Coast. I'm in the central time zone, so it's like 12:36 here, and it's like 11 o'clock there. So he's still on the morning. He's kind of exhausted, but we're gonna get through this. We're gonna talk about a lot today. We're gonna talk about All Stars. We're gonna get into the state of the challenge. All Stars 3, we already know it's getting ready to drop. What can you say about All Stars 3 without giving away too much?
Not a damn thing. You ain't I look, don't even know if doing this podcast is clear. You told me that other cast members had done it, so I assumed it was clear. I'm a rule follower. I ain't telling you a goddamn thing about All
There you
Stars
go.
3. Not
Awesome.
a nope. I ain't telling you if
Not.
I'm on it. I ain't telling you if I'm not on it. I'll let you all. I just look. I read my contract thoroughly. You ain't getting
I
shit
heard
from
that.
me.
Nothing, because I know a lot already than you can imagine, but I haven't given anything away. But we'll talk offline on some of the stuff that I did find out. But let's talk about All Stars before we get into the state of the challenge. The last All Stars, you came close to going to the final. What was your mindset? I know you probably was not satisfied, but what's your thinking on along those lines after that second season? Was you proud of yourself? Did you look back and think that you could have did more? What was your mindset?
You know what? It's funny because I've been getting down on myself so much, but I did Anissa and Tori's podcast yesterday. They made me feel way better about the whole thing. Obviously, I wanted to get to a final. I want to run the final. Everybody wants to win, but at this point, I just want to be able to compete. So I didn't make it to the final, so I was disappointed in that. But you know what, man? I made it further along than what I did in All Stars 1. I'm 44, about to be 45 this year. I know I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the oldest challenger in All Stars, but I'm one of the older people, right? So I'm
Right.
pretty proud of just being able to compete on that level. Um, I got a good win in an elimination against a heavy hitter, and Tyler. We know Tyler's a fucking monster, so I was happy about that. But overall, not making another final was definitely not. It definitely weighs on me. So I can't
Mm-hmm.
say that I'm proud of myself when I didn't even make it to a final.
Well, I would make you feel a little better by saying this. Look at it. You came close to going to the finals. You're right there. I mean, you literally right there. I know in the off season, my mentality would, how can I make myself stronger for the next go round, and how can I make myself go longer? Because I know each season is different. How are you preparing if you are going on to a future season? Are you going hard? Are you doing puzzles? Are you doing, because what I work on, me personally, I work on different puzzles. I work on math skills because I know math is in the equation on that, and then I also make sure I'm good physically too. And I step it up a game. Say, okay, this is where I struggled at. This is where I need to improve on. What is your preparation in this off season?
Okay, so let's start with physically. Physically, I should drop some weight. So I've been doing my best to train a little bit differently, to drop some weight, have a stronger core, have a lot more endurance, way more agile. But the main thing is to lose some weight, to take some pressure off my knees, to be able to run a final, right? Because just being big and strong don't mean shit when it comes to a lot of these challenges, right?
Right.
Um, Mentally, always doing puzzles or games, um, stepping up my reading. A lot of this stuff, so many of us are super dynamic people and we're already doing things in our day-to-day lives to be prepared, right? Like you look at a guy like a Yes, or, who's just a brilliant guy, period. But he's always improving mentally. I know he's an avid reader. He's, as am I. Um, as far as mentality too, um, watching more of like the challenge stuff on like past challenge stuff on YouTube, getting to know more of my castmates on a personal level, just so I have that relationship. Not in a sense of, okay, I'm doing this so I could do the challenge better, but like just, hey, I want to get to know the people I'm in this with a little bit better. So with through the power of social media, being able to contact people and get to know them more and get to know them better and just on a personal level. So those are the things that I'm trying to do. I mean, look, man, I'm fucking retired. I'm retired, but uh, always preparing and being ready, staying ready so I ain't got to get ready. Does that make sense?
Yes, that definitely do make sense because that's my mentality all the time. Because I say it all the time, and I'm gonna continue to say it. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and that's my mentality going forward. When I even do a sporting race, if I go the last minute, I know that I'm ready. I'm ready physically. I'm ready mentally, and that's what I did last year when I went to Arizona. That was like a spur of a moment thing. I decided like a week out, like okay, this is my time to go to a sporting race. Let's go. I'm already ready. I'm physically ready. I'm fit. Let's go. So that's I do that with everything I do. When I heard Darrell say that in Evasion of the Champions, that stuck with me and it still sticks with me to this day. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Um, you gotta definitely improve on those areas. Uh, LT, you've been one of the dominant, especially in pole wrestling, especially that last elimination that you did in that pole wrestling before you went home by Nehemiah, who's a beast. But physically, I know if I'm looking at it, I say, damn, I don't even want to go against no LT because LT gonna rip your head off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if I can hang, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck that. I'm so,
You know what's
go ahead.
finish
Oh,
your
no,
question.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Say, what's funny is I have a diploma in biology with a minor in chem from Chapel Hill, UNC,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So when you were talking about doing the math, like I can do the math in my head, no problem. I mean, they're having you jump off shit and be exhausted and then do the math, or be on some sort of heights and do the math. And I mean, you noticed in the last trivia I came in second, right? Like,
Right, right.
so never get it twisted, like mentally, especially when it comes to intellect. I can think I can do more than hold my own. I think that when people just see me toss people around on the pole wrestle, like that's the first thing they go to. Which, by the way, I get it, right? I mean, I'm not going to sell myself short. I'm able to turn that switch, right, where I go from good Southern man, great diploma from a great school, smart man, whatever, to a absolute fucking monster when I need be. Especially like, come on, man, you're on a challenge. You're not hooking up or getting laid, so therefore you have crazy aggression. You're sleeping in a room with other people. You can't masturbate. You can't you don't have zero outlets, dog. So you put me in a ring with a motherfucker in a pole, and
Oh,
the idea of it is for me to rip it out of this dude's hand, and and for me, and when it comes to the last those last two pole wrestles, I taken stuff personally, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
with Ace, I didn't want to go home, be the first to go home. I hadn't been out on a challenge in so long, and then you know, Ace not really being a friend of mine, and then you saw him and going against Tyler. Tyler's my man. I love Tyler, but it had gotten back to me that he wanted to go up against me, and then, ooh, Lord have mercy. like thinking that you want me and an elimination. Or if you want me, period. I don't give a fuck if it's tiddlywinks. You want to go up against me? Like I take shit personally. It's so funny, right? So funny.
Uh-huh.
I should have addressed this on the live, but the good Southern boy in me wouldn't let me say it. But I was on a live with I'm sorry, with Nehemiah and Cyrus and
Oh
Wes,
yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
and Wes and Wes and Nehemiah were both like, "Oh, I could beat you in a pole wrestle. This is how I would do it." And I'm just like, "Okay, word up, word up," because I'm not one. I'm not one with all the bravado. But I'm really thinking in my head. I'm like, Tyler's 250.
Uh-huh.
I did what I did. All motherfuckers are a $170, $175, soaking wet. Like I would literally pick you up and drop you on your fucking head over and over and over again, because that's the type of mentality that I have when it comes to an elimination like that, right? Like this is literally just brute strength and endurance where you're trying to send me home, and I'm like, yo, fuck you. I'm gonna do whatever I can to like make sure I get this pull out of your hands, and then afterwards we can be back to being cool,
Right.
right? Like afterwards we back to being friends. At Chapel Hill, at Carolina, a lot, right? Pickup ball. It's a basketball school, and shit, who we're going against. My crew, when we walked into the gym, that's how we played, right? My group of friends, my year, class of '99.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who was on the floor. We're trying to go at your head. And before I had my couple of knee injuries, I'd walk up a dude's chest and try to bash on him and embarrass him. So I take that same mentality when it comes to these eliminations, right? Part of like with Ace, I was more afraid of just going home. But then he like kicked me in the head and in my face,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it pissed me off. So that's
Mm-hmm.
when I started slamming him up and down, right? Because he had
Oh, okay.
kicked me in my face. And I understand like strategy and all that, but I just thought that he played dirty. So
Mm-hmm.
then like I'm gonna turn the switch on. And then
Right.
with Tyler, it got back to it was told to me that he wanted a piece, right? And I'm just like, I bet. It becomes personal.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm like, I ain't telling nobody nothing. Cause once you turn that,
Yeah.
like, I ain't telling nobody nothing. Cause they'll think. Cause if he hit that switch, I said he done. You done. You literally done. Whoever you gonna get. But my ideal match, especially for you, I would like for you to go against Leroy. That would be an ideal match because both of y'all undefeated in the pole wrestle thing, and that would be a sight to see. I was like, the better man win. I don't even know who I'm putting my money on this one because it's gonna be a fight.
Okay, all that shit talking I was just doing a minute ago, I'm gonna keep it 100. I hope I never get a pole wrestle ever again because I want to retire 2-0 with my reputation intact. However, if I ever to go back on a challenge and God forbid I'm in an elimination, let me get balls in. I feel like I can wreck shopping balls in, and let me get a hall brawl. Lord God,
Oh,
if we're gonna do something, oh Lord, let me get a hall brawl. You see me in the pole wrestle twice. Fuck that.
right,
Fuck the pole wrestle. Let me get hall brawl. Let it not be easy though. Fuck, easy is a must.
right.
Okay, but let me get hall brawl, and let's see how let's go to work.
That's right.
Like
That's right. Yeah, hard brawl is
old
no joke.
Oklahoma drill. That's
Oh
an old
yeah,
Oklahoma drill, yo.
yeah, yeah. I remember one of my friends. I told him this day. This is years later. So when I was in high school, we did a hidden drill, and so me and my friend we came heads up. What he didn't realize is he hit me so hard I was spitting out blood. I was like, dude. And after years later, I was like, I told that dude years later. I said, when you hit me, I was bleeding that day. Luckily, I didn't die. So, but he hit me so hard. I was like, damn. I said, dog. But that was so long ago, and I was like, it's cool, but he never knew at the time because I was like, I didn't want to show no weakness because doing
Of
that
course not.
time,
Of
you didn't want
course
to show
not.
no weakness. So I just held that in. I told him like years later after the fact. So and I was like, man, but I miss those days, man, especially playing ball and hitting. Those were some fun days. Real world.
See,
Go
see,
ahead.
I played quarterback my whole life, and even
Oh,
when I
okay.
got to college, and played on our club team, I played quarterback my freshman year, and then I moved to running back, H back, right? Um,
Okay.
but I've never really got to hit people because I played quarterback my whole life. So when
Really?
I got the chance to finally hit somebody, oh, it was
Mm.
just so much fucking fun because the quarterbacks always wear that red jersey and you're not
Right.
allowed to hit people. But anytime,
Right.
but from that point after when I got to hit folks, oh Lord Jesus,
Yeah.
like
I was
it's
like,
just and then and then come on now, like I'm not a little man.
right.
I'm
I'm like,
220,
move out the
right?
way. Like, move out the way. LT coming through.
Like I'm not a little guy, right? Like I
Right.
mean, like come on, come with it. But anyway, I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry. See,
Oh
I'm
no, you
exhausted. I
good.
only had like 3 hours sleep last night. I had to be at the gym at I got up at 3:40 to be at the
Uh-huh.
gym at 4:30 this morning because I drove out to a gym far away. So
Oh, okay.
I'm just came home. I haven't even eaten yet. I got home, showered, hit you
Mm-hmm.
up, like let's do it. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
and I
I
definitely
appreciate I
understand that.
appreciate you adapting, homie. I
Oh yeah,
appreciate it for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
I, I'm always adaptable because I tell them all, every people that's been on the show all the time, I'm adaptable. So it don't matter. I'm off today, so I can do this. Because at first I was like, because my supervisor was like, need you to come in? No, not today, but tomorrow. So I was like, okay. So
Yep.
I go in tomorrow. So I'm like, I'm cool. Um, the fitness, man. So how's the training and stuff coming along? I know with my work schedule now, it's been kind of hard to train, but I'm getting it in, even if it's late at night. I'm just
Yeah.
knocking my workouts in.
You know what is crazy? As far as working with fitness, I actually launched my online stuff where I'm giving people 6 weeks of not just workouts. I'm not just going to be someone posting thirst traps and saying subscribe to my channel or some shit. I'm keeping
Mm-hmm.
stuff really personal. Um, whatever equipment you may have or what you have access to, if you go to the gym or not, that I'm giving a couple Zoom calls a week. I'm keeping you accountable, sending DMs in the morning, sending texts, make sure you got it in. What is it you want to work on? Because I've worked with everything from NBA and NFL players to people who have not gotten off the couch this week. So, I
Mm-hmm.
trained about, I want to say, 80 people this morning already between
Damn.
group classes and things of that nature. And because I've been doing it for so long, we talk about being adaptable. I'm able to
Mm-hmm.
adapt routines and circuits and diets to people's individual needs. So, and then I take a real life approach to it, man. I love my pizza and beer. So I
Right.
talk people through how to get off, Coca-Cola addictions and sugar and because I've just been doing this shit for so long, man. And
Right.
I will admit my infrastructure is not quite there yet because I'm not good at that, but I'm great at getting you from point A to point B. You trying to get bigger, stronger, faster? I got you. You trying to train for a Spartan? I got you, dude.
Right.
You're 300 pounds, and then you're having trouble just working out at all or doing anything. I got you. Like we
Right.
start off slow. You have injuries. I got you. So I love fitness. It's been a part of my life since I was, Pop Warner football, and then more
Mm-hmm.
intense once I was 14 years old. And it's been weird watching people be fitness influencers on Instagram because that's not me. Even though I'm on a reality show, you see I'm way more laid back and quiet. But now I've
Right.
realized like how much I can help people. As
Mm-hmm.
silly as that sounds and as hokey as that sounds, man, being on the challenge has allowed me to have this platform where I can reach people in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, even. And if I can impart even a little bit of knowledge to help someone lose some weight or be better or function better in life. That's what I'm trying to do. It's funny, at the gym today, there were like 8 posters up, like before and afters of people.
Right.
And keep in mind, this is the first time I've been to this gym. I knew of it, but it's the first time I've been to this gym. But
Mm-hmm.
all 8 of those people, I had started them out at the beginning of their fitness journey, started them out and helped them get to, I wasn't the only one, but I helped them get from that point to another point. Because there were 8 people from a different gym that I've
Oh,
been to.
okay.
But they were
Okay.
affiliated with this new gym that I went to this morning.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know, I mean, obviously I want to do other things when it comes to entertainment, but right now, man, I'm engulfed in my fitness biz, right? You know, Laterrian's workouts, man. Like it's that's just what I do. I'm good at it. I might not make up my bed in the morning. I can't cook worth a damn, but when it comes to fitness, I know my shit.
You gotta know your stuff, especially when you eating cookies at night on the challenge.
You know it. You know it.
Oh, I was
See,
like, this
but see,
dude eating cookies on the
cookies
challenge in the
and
morning.
Doritos, but all right. So listen, the science behind it. Science behind it. Because I burn so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't eat a ton of carbs like that if it's not football season. But when you're burning so much and your body's used to burning so much, it craves those simple sugars, French fries, Oreos, Doritos. Like my body craves it because it knows it's going to be up at 4:30 in the morning, and it knows it's going to be pushed to the max. I trained. When I say train, it includes teaching classes and myself.
Oh,
So
okay.
I started at 4:30 this morning. I stopped at 8:50 this morning,
Mm-hmm.
nonstop, with like a shake in between and just keeping it going, right? Because the thing about the way that I train is great for me to keep doing stuff with them, and it also allows me. And then a lot of my clients love my music, so we're able to get into that mindset and get active, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So if I'm burning that much, then I'm gonna crave simple sugars. I just try to do things like replace ice cream with grapes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love my orange juice in my shakes and things of that nature. But after all those classes, when we get off the phone today, I'll rest up, I'll fuel up, I'll eat probably 3 meals. I'm gonna be on my bike this afternoon,
Oh, okay.
or I might go to the beach. Hold on, man, it's getting hot in my crib. I gotta take off my sweatshirt.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. What's the temperature out there anyway? Come think about it.
Oh, don't be jealous. It was been 84 and 83 the last couple of days.
I mean,
Don't
we've
be
been having
mad.
some nice ones. I'm mad, but yeah,
Wait, are
mad
you in
because
St. Louis? Where are you?
yeah, you know I'm in St. Louis. I'm from St. Louis, so
This is what I thought. Yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm like, man, dude, I want to be in some nice weather, man. Sure, I know how it is, but it is what it is. I'm making it the best. It's a little warm out here. It's in the 50s today, so
You said warmer and then you say 50. That's a
yeah,
fucking
it's in the 50s.
oxymoron.
Yeah, it's a little warm. It's warmer in the cold sense. You know what I mean? Where you
Warmer
ain't got to
and
be all
50.
covered up. Yeah.
Associate 50 with fucking warm. If I see 50 on the forecast here in Calabasas, yo, son, I'm getting under the covers and turning on the heat and the oven, old school Southern style. Fuck that. 50?
Yeah,
I mean, it
50.
gets cold like that, but I got my beanie on.
Right.
Like, oh, hell no.
Right, right. It's been a while since I've been on the West Coast, but I remember that weather on the West Coast. I miss it. I do miss it. I'm like, man, I wish I was in the West Coast. I like the time zone. You got a lot more that you can do during the time zone. I was like, man, I hate this time zone because it seems like the day go by so fast. And I'm just like, I wish I was on the West Coast because the time you be like, oh, it's like right now, it's 1 o'clock, and it's what 1:12. It's 11 o'clock there. So I'm just like,
Yeah, because you're in the central. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
But
man, I miss
I grew
that time zone.
up on the East Coast, and
Mhm.
right before I left for season one of All Stars,
Mhm.
I had flown back home, and being home, my mom let me stay with her, and seeing my sister and all my family like that every day, and then instead of coming back to LA, I ended up just staying there. So I was only going to be in North Carolina for like a week. But then I was so comfortable and seeing my family, I was just like, let's just stay here for the whole month till I leave for All Star. So I really thought about moving back east. And then that shit snowed. Then that
Right.
shit snowed. And not that
He's like,
pretty snow we can
no.
go snowboarding.
Right.
It snowed. And not only that, I'm trying to like watch the Laker game and that shit, I can't even make it to halftime. Hell
Right.
no. And then I went to Carolina. You mean to tell me I have to wait to 8 or 9 o'clock at night to watch Carolina play? Fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch the Duke Carolina game tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, son, and still have time to like go do some dope shit, right? Like, because
Yeah.
I'll be downtown with Carolina alumni, right?
Right.
It's so I love the West Coast, man. I miss my family so much, but I love the West Coast for so many fucking reasons, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, this is
Oh
what it
yeah.
is, yo. It's just what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, that is true. It is what it is. Now, when you got merged back into it, because I know you've been out the game for a while. What was your last season again before you came back? Was it
From what I
extreme?
from what I read on the internet yesterday, my last challenge before All Stars was Gauntlet One, and being
Oh,
being
let's
that
talk
I
about.
don't know exactly, I feel like that might be correct.
Yeah, because that's a
that shit
long
in
time
that
ago.
shit. I lost to Alton in a fucking climbing event where I looked like a piece of dog shit trying to climb up this goddamn pole. I'm wearing these gloves that are slippery, which is no excuse. Alton would have whipped my ass in anything climbing. That motherfucker, his arms reach his ankles, and he's super strong.
Right.
And so he's the best climber out of everybody. He's the best climber. You know, honestly, I'd like to think that I'm probably the most agile and adaptable to like normal American sports, whatever we do challenge wise,
Mm-hmm.
anything that goes athletically with normal like American sports or whatever. I think that I'm the best in that. Like I know all you guys think of me as just pole wrestle brute strength, but agility and jumping and like add it all like athletically, I'd like to put myself up there. Probably I don't really watch the shows like that. I'm just that confident in myself. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that probably Leroy, myself, Cyrus, CT, men like that. Like I think we're probably the most athletic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, most definitely. So, was it like a culture shock to you coming back when you emerged back into the challenge, or you was like, oh, this is home right here. I can't believe
Oh
I'm
hell
back.
no. I never felt more out of place ever in my life. However, I will tell you what helped. Um, During quarantine, Tech was next to me and in our hotel, and he's playing like Gangstar and Mob Deep and Outkast from like '90s, and I'm like,
Right.
oh shit! So he became my friend off gate because we could see each other outside the balconies. You know, we're quarantined, we could walk out on our balconies and see each other and talk. And then
Uh-huh.
Mark's just always been mad cool. Mark is just salt of the earth, just good ass guy. And then having Cyrus is like Cyrus isn't like just my best challenge friend. Cyrus is one of my
Right.
best friends of my non-Carolina friends.
Uh-huh.
Cyrus and my man Guy Brown, probably my like two of my best friends, like of all time, just good ass men. And then I'd actually talked to Sella prior to going, but
Mm-hmm.
it was so I they made it comfortable, but I felt so out of place and like an oddball. And then also I was of the mindset I wasn't giving them anything that was deep when it comes to me, right? Like I wasn't gonna show like my true personality. Plus, it had been so long. And then with COVID and just life where it was, and
Right.
everyone, I felt stagnant like everyone, right? Like you couldn't go anywhere. Your life was turned upside down and changed. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna ask me to come do this, and I'm like, Mark, man, I feel honored that you would even think of me. And then, oh, you're gonna pay me to go to Argentina and do this fun shit, and then and get interact with like people in production and how loving and kind and attentive they are to you, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like was like 20 years ago where we had the fourth wall and weren't allowed to interact with production. Now they're able to get more out of you and get you to be yourself because you're more relaxed because they're more relaxed and you have rapport with from the head of production down to PAs and it's just a lot of fun. Hell, shit. Talk about Carolina and Duke game. The last one when Tech came and watched with me downtown at the Carolina event, we walked out and saw someone from production as soon as we walked out of the bar, like downtown LA. It was random. And like you see them and you're like, oh shit, and just immediately start goofing off and loving it, right? And 20 years ago when we were doing this, there's no way that could happen.
Right. Yeah, 'cause I know you getting into the whole social media thing and all this because you still struggling with how you do this. I don't see you on live. How you do this? I don't know how to do this, man. What in the world is this? I remember the conversation y'all had with Wes Cyrus. All y'all taking y'all shirts off, and I'm just like, these cats are crazy, man, for real. Y'all had me dying, but how do you view social media now since you just now get into it? Are you like mind blown that this has literally taken over at this point? Because remember, once upon a time, media didn't play much of a role like it does now.
You know what? It's great. Social media is awesome for so many things. You can literally form your own story, right? So say like with the challenge, I've loved how I've been portrayed. Like I love it because I honestly think they've not shown me in my worst moments because everybody has really bad moments whenever they're on these challenges and you guys are getting a full scope, but you're not getting every part of the scope. Well,
Right.
what social media allows you to do, social media allows you to create your own story for the world to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a really genuine Southern man, so like showing people exactly who I am, right? Like when you see any workout video of mine, you're going to hear harsh music. You're going to hear Mob Deep. You're going to hear Benny the Butcher. You're going to hear that dope shit because
Oh, yeah.
that's who I am. That's that part of me, right?
Yeah.
Like when I'm working out or I'm getting it in, you're going to get that intense, that 2% of me that's just a hard ass gangster, dope dealing motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
I for the record, I've never sold dope. I'm just saying, you know what I mean. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, right?
I do.
And social media
Right.
and then at the same time, social media is so great for helping. Here's what I mean. I've never until the past 2 years, all these inspirational sayings, if it didn't come from Mandela or James Baldwin or God Cornell West or I could go on or Maya Angelou,
Right.
someone like that, right? I was brushing it off. Now, when you have like a David Goggins, right? You have Massey Arias. You have these fitness people that are inspiring you, and they're just like you, right? I'm starting to take things to heart. Like, before 5 a.m. What are you gonna say? Or like, all these things you see on Instagram or on Twitter that will apply to you, right? I read something yesterday about, it was a quick 2 lines about not worrying about the approval of the outside, but worrying about the
Right.
approval of the inside, the internal approval, right?
Yeah.
And social media has been excellent for reaching out and being inspired. Now, there's some trash on social media, obviously,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
I absolutely love TikTok because TikTok will give me some like how to work with my S corp and LLC, and then it's something inspirational. Then I get to see a thick woman with big ass boobs,
Right.
like shaking her ass, like all in the
Right.
span of like 3 minutes. I'm
Right.
I'm I'm covered, and so
Right.
it's let's keep it 100, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
love social media, man. I love it. I'm starting to get it, embrace it. I I started. All Stars won with 800 followers. I'm almost at 8,000, guys.
Good Lord, hey, you getting up there pretty soon. You're gonna have over 32,000 after a while, because it's like, hey, oh snap, that's the guy from Real World Extreme or from Gauntlet One. Shoot, so how has the challenge changed since then from the Gauntlet days to the Battle of the Sexes days and the original Battle of the Season days?
Man, one of the two major things you can take from challenges now versus then. When I first did my first challenges, just more physical, imposing men. No one worked out like me. Everybody fucking works out now, right?
Right.
Like I saw a video from Tori the other day. She's fucking getting it.
Yep.
Anissa's getting it.
Yep.
The girls, the guys, everybody's getting it, and you can see it on social media, right? So it makes me fucking go and work harder. Like everybody's going after it. Then the other thing is, it's a lot more comfortable because it's not just you shooting something for 12 hours. It's production, being out there preparing them, holding the camera or sound equipment and in the fucking heat and not being able to eat as well, and they're going through the same shit. And how do you think they get these fucking shots underwater? You got motherfuckers that you think is some ordinary dude. He's diving below water, capturing this shit, or hanging off the side of the building, capturing this shit. So it's crazy. So those are two of the bigger things that changed in the challenge, right? And then also too, one of the negatives, I feel like motherfuckers are really way more emotional and want to argue more. I'm not about that shit, but I see that as part of it.
Yeah, you got to, because you got to have your entertainment aspect, and that's what they are there to do. They're there to entertain. Just like one of my guys, friends, Tyrone Graham, he said, I don't care about nothing else. I'm here for the entertainment. If he's entertainment, you're here for that next 2 or hour and a half to entertain me. So me, I'm a little both. I like entertainment and I like the competition. I said, what can you do physically? I already know 9 times out of 10 going into a season, and if I'm watching it, I already know who won. I already know what place you came. How did you get to point A, B, and C? That's what I'm curious on, how everything plays out, because during Rivals 3, that's when I really started to find out and look ahead, say, okay, who won? And it didn't sway me to not watch. I'm going to watch it anyway to see what happens and how all this played out, because it's not playing in my head. I can sit here and read it, but I'm like, I'm not seeing it visually. I got to see it visually to understand. And then once I see it visually, a light just goes off in my head. Ding. It's like, remember when you read this part? This is how it's all playing out now. And that's how my thinking comes when I'm looking ahead. So when we go offline, I'm going to ask you about All Star 3 one more time. But you don't have to tell me now, since we live.
I ain't telling you
about
shit.
that.
On or
You telling me
offline.
something.
I ain't telling you shit. You have my let me tell you something. You have my personal cell phone number. You and I fucking text back and forth. You can call me. I got a picture of us side by side from Challenge Mania. My obligation to you are I look. I abide by fucking rules. That's what I do. I abide by rules.
He abide by the rules, ladies and gentlemen. So I may not get nothing out of him, but we're gonna talk a little bit offline, because I do want to ask him one question though. Yes, these seasons. What is your thinking now? Because I'm gonna give you what I think, and this is what I feel. After I heard the announcement about the merger of the challenge and the other states or countries that's getting ready to pick up the challenge, and they're going to come all together, which they're going to form War of the Worlds, which I think is a little, they could have named it something else, because you already have War of the Worlds that aired on MTV. And I'm like, okay, when you hear War of the Worlds, now, as me as a fan that's been watching it for years, I'm like, which War of the Worlds are you talking about? Are you talking about the CBS War of the Worlds, or are you talking about MTV War of the Worlds? Because we've already had that. Now they're getting ready to launch a whole nother thing. But here's my train of thought. I feel that we're at the end of an era with MTV, and it's get ready to transition into CBS altogether. That's where I think, because now the status quo has still stayed the same, which they keep their target audience the same, which is not geared towards me because I'm almost 40. It's geared towards the younger generation, which is what it starts off with 18 to what, maybe 30, 35 is maybe the cutoff or something like that. So, do you think we have seen the last of, after 38? Do you see the last of the challenge being on MTV?
Being on MTV, that's a great question. I think that MTV will always be affiliated with it because they are the home of it. It may not be where people go to watch it. Does that make sense? Because
Mm-hmm.
MTV does give it that swag that, like, it gives it, that home feel. You know what it'd be like? It'd be like watching March Madness on HBO or something, right? Like,
Right.
it
Right.
just it can work, but it doesn't fit. So, you know, I think MTV was always because they've always made it dope and fly, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it from the pictures that we get to just whatever nuances that they throw in, and I'm not going to go into the minutia of where we see more MTV people versus production from BMP, but it's a great collaboration, and how it gets shown, that's going to be up to people that are on a much higher pay grade than me, right?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
what I would like is for an understanding, nostalgia, and music, and people that are like me and my age, and because of what we represent and how we were born, I mean, how we were raised when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to authenticity and things of that nature, right? Because we grew up
Mm-hmm.
without social media. I feel
Right.
like we's are way more entertaining than the people that are just TikTokers, right? Because you're trying to make a 45-minute to an hour and a half show
Right.
about people that aren't considered celebrities, right? Because we're not,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So how are you going to keep their interest? Well, you have to keep the masses' interest by, look at the Super Bowl, right? Whenever they brought out Dre and 50 Cent and Snoop, we're all
Right.
thinking that is hip and nuanced. Well, it is hip, but it's also been around for 20 fucking years. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it just
Mm-hmm.
still hits hard, right? Like I played
Mm-hmm.
Snoop in my workouts, right? Because
Right.
the shit still hits hard.
Oh
If
yeah.
if we working out and I play deep cover, come on,
Oh
yo. You mean you tell
man.
me you're not gonna get hype, son?
Oh, I'm getting hyped. I'm getting hyped. Man, I
You're
remember
gonna
that
get hype.
song. Yeah, definitely
Get
getting
hype.
hyped.
Come
Yes.
on, yo. Come on.
Yes.
Like everybody wants to think about Snoop with Martha Stewart. Well, come on. Think about what it was like. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When it came out
Right.
with deep cover. Right.
Yeah.
So they had them on for the Super Bowl, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Right.
And it seemed hip to us because it is hip and relevant because they're icons. Well, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to challenges in reality television, whether you are a fan or you like it or not, MTV, Bill Murray, they've put out icons. And don't
Mm-hmm.
ever get it fucking twisted because that's just what it is. I know I wasn't on shows for 20 years. Just because I wasn't there doesn't mean I didn't understand how big the shows were. And you can't have these shows without the impact of MTV and BMP, right? Like
Oh yeah.
you can't you can't have it like that, right?
Right.
So
Right.
like don't get it twisted. Like, you know, it's funny because people talk about changing and trying to gear toward like the younger crowd and they want to change. I always say, I'm like, man, some execs broke up Tribe Called Quest, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I'm pretty sure some execs told Outkast to go solo before they did, right? Like,
Right.
man, fuck that, man. Let it be the organic people who got it going, and because there even if there aren't as many fans at certain point, people are still going to come back to it, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Especially the newer, because what I find interesting, especially talking to people from all over the world, is what was their starting point. Mine was when I was a kid. I've been watching this show ever since I was small, and so I remember 1992 when Real World first started off. I didn't think Real World was gonna be as big as what it has become, and then it faded out. And then I'm just like, what happened to the Real World? Then Road Rules came along, and Road Rules lasted for a long period of time. And then once that kind of phased out, you got the challenge. So once the challenge came, then it's just been the challenge ever since. Now I don't know what the state of the challenge is at this point, in my opinion, because once you got 38, is there going to be 39, 40, or are they going to stop at 40, or are they going to stop at 38? So the expansion is interesting to me to see what the future holds, if MTV holds still as a network alone, because it's been around for a long time. So I don't know why they would get rid of it now, not unless the ratings go down. But it is also up under the same umbrella now. Now they're trying to, keep everybody on CBS Paramount Plus app, because that's where you can watch All Stars on the Paramount app. And I'm excited for the new season. Season 3, I cannot wait. I'm thinking about doing a breakdown of season 3. So stay tuned to that for sure. Laterrian, I'm gonna ask you one more question about if you are on a future season. If you are on a future season, what is your goal? I know your goal is to win, but are you going in with a different strategy, or are you going in, okay, this is what I'm going to do?
Nope.
Or what's your approach?
No, because as soon as I fuck around and think I'm going to have this strategy or that strategy, I'll fuck it up. I have to go in just normally being me and banking on the fact that, hey, if I get something that I can excel at, then I'll come back in or I'll win that daily or whatever. The main goal is just to make it to the final. That's it.
Yeah.
The final. Because I'm gonna share one thing with you I've not shared with anybody or any podcast or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a lot of the men or people think that my reputation is I don't have the endurance. I don't have endurance, so I don't have the flexibility. I think it's more about people just seeing that I'm fucking 220 and don't believe that I can move the way that I move. But never get it twisted. If you saw me run that mini final in season 1, I don't know if you grasp like how much I fucking dominated with Kendall by my side, right? Right? Like the last thing that anybody in any of this shit, I don't give a fuck who it is. I'm just gonna speak it real with you, son. The last that anybody ever want to see is me in a final. That's it. Like that's it. You're gonna ride mountain bike, nigga. I ride mountain bikes all the time. We're gonna run hills. That's what I do, right?
Right.
We're gonna eat some shit. Okay, I might have some trouble with that, but I grew up eating chitlins. You know what I mean? I'm from the South, son. I ate chitlins and pig feet.
But we talking about something totally different. I mean, you gotta eat cockroaches, bugs, pig, the nastiest things in the world. I would have I'm not even gonna lie. I would have trouble doing it, but I would do it. I would have to close my eyes and do it, and then I'm gonna throw it up, okay? Because I'm not holding that down.
Well, I guess my whole point is this: win or lose, no matter what it is, you're gonna get my best effort.
Yeah.
My best effort in something like the final, or the mini final, or what have you. Like my best effort ain't gonna be average or below average. You understand? So that's what it is. Like as far as like going into the game and strategy, man, I just want to be a good dude, make people that like are homesick feel better, support brothers and sisters like I'm supposed to. Like, I mean, brothers and sisters when it comes to the challenge, and brothers and sisters when it comes to people of color, any way, any culture, whatever. What you're gonna get is an authentic me, right? And that's the main goal, is to always be who I am, right?
Right.
And that being said, I guess that's probably the best way I can put things.
Hey, that's the best way to do it, man. Definitely, Laterrian. I appreciate you coming on this afternoon. Your side morning, afternoon. Shit,
Man,
it's
I
almost afternoon now.
after this, I'm gonna eat and I'm going to fucking sleep, yo. I'm so if you look, if we weren't cool already, there's no fucking way I'm doing this shit. I'm so exhausted. Like if and
I
that's just
understand
what
it.
it is. And I and
Yeah,
like I said, you said you were getting going with it. I dude, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker's real cool. Met him. Seen you twice. I saw you at Cyrus's
right,
party. Saw you
right.
at Challenge Mania. So
That's
I was like,
right.
bet.
Yeah,
Yo,
got
and
to
then
be.
any fan of mine, I got you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
word
Yes,
up.
sir.
All right.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
listen, let's stay up. Leave, text me any other questions or whatever. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you, sir. And definitely that I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. And then I'm gonna stay on to finish the recording. But I appreciate you, man. I'm definitely gonna hit you up right after this, and then you can just respond whenever because I do have a question that I just found out. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and play my theme music, and then I'm gonna have you go ahead and go offline. Wait a minute, where my theme music
Hold
at?
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me just say, everybody that's a fan of me, appreciate you. Stay up.
Yes, sir. And then how can we get in touch with you, Laterrian? Come think about it.
My IG is I am Laterrian. Fuck. You can get at me by email, laterrianwallace1 at gmail. I forget what my Twitter handle is. I think it's twallace09. Either way, you're gonna see a bunch of me with my helmet on and all that shit. So yeah, stay fans of the challenge and save the palace, motherfucker. Save the palace.
That's right. And here it is. Save the palace.
Yeah, homie. Appreciate you.
How did you lose the mark, man? Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to For the Love of the Challenge. I want to take this time to thank Laterrian for coming on this afternoon. We definitely had a good conversation. So please like, subscribe me at For the Love of the Challenge. And ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I got some big things coming down the road. If you would want to be on the show, please hit me up because I already had somebody who has been previously on the show hit me up say, when you gonna have me back on? It will be soon. I got a lot of interviews lined up. So as soon as those interviews clear, hopefully it will be before All Stars 2 come out. Then I'll start bringing people back on because I do want to put a panel together before All Stars 3 drop, and we can talk about the breakdown of the cast and everything, what our thoughts are, and then I will give my thoughts on what's going on with All Stars 3 as well. It's definitely been fun doing this, so thank you guys for listening. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the word. So definitely, I got some more big things coming down. I will be speaking with someone who has been on the Real World season again. Uh, This time is real world. I got somebody from real world Paris, so I can't wait to sit down and talk to her because I've been wondering all these years. So I get to finally get an interview with somebody from real world Paris. They share their experiences during that time. Especially, I'm gonna get my thoughts on what I was thinking during that time as well. So thank you guys for listening, and until next time, peace.